Winning and losing is part of every team and individual player. You win some and you lose some, but you try to win more than you lose, obviously. But how do you react as a coach in types of situations where the team played really good, but they lost that game? What should you say towards the players in order to get them motivated? Or what if they won the game, but actually played not that good? How should you react? What should your focus points be? In this video, we will cover how you as a coach can react to winning or losing. Grab a pen and a piece of paper and let's get into it. What is up, guys? My name is Donny from nextlevel.esports.com, the #1 platform for esports coaches and team development to help you and your team reach the next level by getting the people side of esports right. First things first, as a coach, you have to understand that your job is to develop and maintain things that are good and change things that are going bad. And in order to do this, you always have room after every game, even if it's a short one, a good one, or a bad one, you have always something to say. And we do this with a 3-step process. On number 1, we explicitly say the things that go right, the things that are going well. It could be communication, maybe taking risks, maybe the way they changed their plan during the game that got them some leads or advantages anywhere on the map, or any specific mechanic that they started to use that they learned into the practices that you really hammered on to improve, and they are showing up in that specific part. So you name explicitly all the things that go well, and if there are so many things that go well, just pick the most impactful things and you really honestly compliment on it. Because a lot of coaches first only look at the things like, yeah, it was a good game, but this went bad and we should improve this. And of course, you are probably right, but it's very, very good to give the compliments and positive feedback as well, so the players know where they stand and how they should do it more. Because sometimes they show something new or taking risks that they would normally do, and it pays off. By not acknowledging that play or that moment, they might forget it because it's just like a spontaneous thing. And if you instill that confidence on these specific plays, it will boost the confidence and the way the team plays and evolves towards the next level. So that is step 1, explicitly say what went well. Step 2 is say what things can be better. So improvement points, and could also be like the strategies, tactics, the way they play, the communication, or maybe the drafts of Dota and League of Legends, or anything else, a movement that they made a lot of mistakes or a huge mistake, or maybe even tiny mistakes that could have been improved or taken care of in a different way that is statistically better. Always something that can be improved as well. And afterwards, you've done like the evaluation on things that went good and things that went bad. You start to look at what are the things that matter for my team or my players in particular. So you give directions, not only giving the mistakes, but how should we react to them the next time. For example, if we are talking about mistakes during communication, that someone might have died on the map in Counter-Strike, for example, but he's not calling where the enemy was or where he was going, or maybe even 5 to 10 seconds later on, you should say, next time, Harry, I would love, or I would want to see that you take responsibility for when you are dead and you call out where the enemy is instantly. No matter what you do, I want you to call out. So that is what we're going to focus on in the next training. And so forth, you bring out those points to really focus the players and extract that value and apply it towards them. So it's not only an overall team view, but what they can actually practically improve as well, and what they should take away from you or from themselves, what they see, and apply to the next training and practice, so they can resolve the problems and fix those things, or do more of the things that went well. So that is a very good 3-step system for you as a coach to start off with. So in that moment, to go a little bit deeper, you share the thoughts and experiences. So you go back and forth, like maybe from your perspective as a coach, you take the lead in like, what was this specific play? I really didn't like it because you should have maybe positioned there, or they called out this in the communications and they didn't do it, or they did do it, and you want to compliment them on it, but you want to know their intentions. How did they experience it as well? Are they conscious about the same things that you see as a coach? So that is why it's a very good thing to quickly and go back and forth in sharing experiences. And a good way to do this is adding the video material as well. So for example, in League of Legends, you can instantly review the game and then jump towards those specific crucial moments that you want to talk about, so you get more context from the players, and you can do a very good analysis and instantly point out the mistakes that you've written down in your notebook or anything else, so you can come back to it and they have a better understanding of what you mean from your coach perspective. And it is the best way for the players to improve if you have a learning and development culture that they also like and agree on. And the best idealistic way is that they take notes from themselves. So the best way is to have a notebook. So maybe you have a break after this match, or maybe in 2 days you have a new practice, so they don't forget it, because they can go back to their notes and they look at like, oh yeah, this went well, I took more risk, that was a plus, okay, so I will try to do this more. I try to see if I can exploit it even more in this practice, to see if I can limit test myself, or maybe the mistakes that they've made, like, oh, I made this mechanical mistake in this part of the map and I should have done this or that, and they get notified again by watching the notes. And the second best option is to really let them repeat the mistakes that they are going to focus on, so it's more wired inside their brains. And the least optimal way of improving is just by talking it and expecting that the players, that they will take it in. But oftentimes what I see with coaches and players, that the coaches have a too good expectation of the players, that they just take it in because I just said it right, but they're not taking it into the next practice. Or maybe they do it one practice, but it's not really ingrained in their system or in their belief system, that they think like, yes, I really need to fix this. So maybe in 2-3 days they already forgot it, and the same mistake happens over and over again. So that could be a slip up, but anything that they take away is even better than just neglecting it and not talking about it at all. So those are some stages that you can do as well. No matter your evaluation or your analysis of the game is 30 seconds or maybe half an hour, you need to make the right attributions towards the players and the team in general. And what do I mean with attributions is, why did they get the result in the first place, whether that's winning or losing? Is it because they played bad, they weren't in shape? Did they sleep well? Did they did enough in the trainings? Did they show effort? Did they took enough risks? Or did they didn't take enough risks? And those are some things to look at as attributions. What was the reason that the process went well or good? Or what was the reason behind that we won or lose? Was it maybe luck? Was it maybe a stable environment that we did the practice in? Did we change things? Those are things that you want to look at, and what are the attributions. So in order to know what you're going to say and apply the right attributions towards the team or particular individual players, that often dictates how the players will continue towards the training, the practice. Because let's say you don't give any evaluation or feedback at the end of the game. How will the next practice look like? Is it just a general picture of, yeah, we played bad, so let's practice more? Is that sufficient enough? Probably not. So at the end of the training, you already pointed out in step 3 of a few slides before that you need to say what truly matters for a particular player or the team in order to develop. They take notes and you assign attributes to them, like was it their own effort, was it a lack of effort, was it risk taking, was it a good skill showcase, that they are very stable in their performance, all these kinds of things. So that is very important to assign the right attributes towards the team and the players. So to what do the players attribute the cause? So not only you as a coach will apply those attributes from your perspective to them, but also ask them the right questions in order to understand how they viewed themselves in that particular game. So it is the self versus others. Do they focus more on themselves, like I played well because I spent a lot of time, extra hours the last 3 weeks in deathmatch, and I improved my accuracy and my confidence in myself that I can click on those heads. So that is like the self component of it. But it could also be like, okay, it was because the player made a lot of mistakes and it was easy for me just to get onto those mistakes and punish them for it. So they don't look at it from their own perspective, from their self, but they look at maybe flaws or things from the external world of the opponents most of the time. And were those stable factors? For example, yeah, I trained consistently for a lot of time, or I didn't put in the effort a lot of the time, or it's inconsistent, so you know what it is? Or was it more the coincidence? For example, that you and your team were scheduled to play at 9 o'clock in the evening, but the game before was earlier done than expected, so you have to log in 50 minutes before you actually thought you would play, and you were caught off guard, and that is maybe a coincidence that maybe did something with your mental, why you played bad or anything else, a bit unlucky. So that is also a factor to take in as well. So in the evaluation at the end, give the right attributions and look for the things that how the players react through themselves, or do they focus on themselves and give the right attributions towards themselves, or do they look at the enemy like, yeah, but the team is so good and how am I able to ever beat them? They are like 10 levels higher than me. It was just useless from the start. Or was it like, yeah, I played a very good game, but I'm also lucky because today it was my birthday and I had so many positive vibes. So it was like also kind of coincidence that I felt really good that I could perform today. And it was such a nice day that I couldn't do anything else than perform on my best today. So those are factors to look out for, and also compare it to your own attributions that you think you and the team or the players have. So it matches well together, and you can make a plan towards the practice and training as well to focus on improvement points and the things that are good, and be sure to get in touch with those players in order to keep them motivated throughout the practices training in order for them to develop to the maximum potential. And when you combine it all, everything from the last couple of sheets, it comes down and boils down to this little model. So take a look at it to assign a correct attribution to a performance. So for example, if your team or player had a good performance and they won, you try to make a direct link with self-confidence, the stable factors. For example, the effort that they put into the training, the preparation that they had, the pre-match routines, the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears, everything, maybe the team bonding, that they bonded well and invested in doing also outside activities and building up relationship with team members as well, that make it more a better team cohesion in order for them to perform well today. And yet you compliment them well on their effort and everything that they put in. So that is the best way to keep them motivated if they win and they had a good performance. So now let's take a look if they had a good performance, but they still lost. This could happen as well, because sometimes you get outclassed by a better team, but you still play pretty good, or at least very decent, and you're pretty proud for your own performance in that regard. So link it then and there into the moment. So the opponent today, they were better. And that is the only external thing that you attributed. So they were better today, but it was also accidental factors. Yeah, they had some lucky opportunities or better timings, or they did good rotations that we weren't prepared for, that we didn't do in the practice. So it's all a bit accidental and it can happen. So guys, it can be unlucky. Next time we try better. And that is also an important part for this type of evaluation, so you don't get stuck in all the details of things that went wrong and could be improved. Of course, you say them and you note them, and the things that really matter, you take them with you. But if you had a good performance, don't grind into the mistakes too hard, because it will lose their confidence and their motivation into the practice or training as well. So this is the best way how you can react as a concept and within this type of context, that when you and the team had a good performance but you lost. So next up is when the team or the particular player has a bad performance. So the first one is that they can have a bad performance. They played not well, but they still win. Maybe they are you and your team are by far the best in the league, or you're one of the top in the leaderboards, and you're playing at the bottom of the league. So these are some situations that happen frequently in esports leagues. So, but you want to also manage it, because of course it's nice to have this win. It's always nice feeling that you win, but also the way you win is important as well. Also how you view yourself as a team and a certain standard that you have. So how to behave in that sense is you make absolutely no link with self-confidence that they played well or that they put a lot of effort into the training with blood, sweat and tears and all these things, because they played terrible. They were not themselves. Maybe they were even trolling or making jokes on some parts, and it could really irritate you as a coach while you want them to play the way you agreed upon with all the processes that you set in stone and agreed upon with the team or the particular player. So instead of saying just like, okay, we played well, we at least got the win and that's the only thing that matters, that's not where it stops. So you want to say what needs to improve. So it could be the behavior, like, guys, even though we won, and they were maybe not as skilled as a team on paper, and that is why we won. But the way we behaved, the way we laughed and make jokes about them and had some bad manners as well at the end, that's really what I discussed and don't want to see. And we're going to work on that. And I expect from you guys to show up the next game versus them or different team that is not going to happen again, and we're going to practice and train on all these things in order to improve. So let's move forward. And that's keep those players that even though they won but had a bad performance, keep them grounded in order to focus on improvement and the next practice and training again, so they can have the best impact and results eventually with a good performance in the next match. Last up is when they have a bad performance and they are losing. Sometimes happen as well, or maybe more frequently than we think or would like to admit. And this can be very frustrating for you as a coach, or maybe in-game leader, or anything else as a manager, and you thinking like, how can we improve? Is it like this or is it like that? You don't know. So how do you handle if they have a bad performance and are losing the game? So you start off with discussing the results with the 1 through 3 step, first giving the good things, then the bad things, and say explicitly the things and that the players and the team writes down what really matters. But don't link it to the self-confidence. For example, yeah, I know we are better than them and we should easily be able to beat them, more in an egotistical way. So in order to motivate the players as well, grab the opportunity, take a look at the way the team is practicing. Maybe you as a coach or the trainer or the players are missing something in the training as well. So maybe we are focusing on the mechanical aspects, but the way we cannot perform inside the matches when it really matters and we want to take the win but we cannot get it, is because we focus too much on the communication side, or to focus too much on the mechanical side, but should focus more on the communication side, to practice that more in various ways by playing maybe other games as well that really enhances and really brings up the need to communicate, to force the communication and to bring it more together as a team. Or maybe the opposite, that you focus more on other things like the communication or team building, when you should actually focus on the mechanical part, the tactical and strategical part. So that is a decision, an observation that you as a coach need to make and really look deep down and honest at the training program that you have, in order to see the gaps and cracks where you might have missed something that we really need as a team in order to improve and take the win the next time, and also to have a good performance. So that is also something to stay sharp. And also when things go bad and you keep losing and have bad performance and you're not really get a grip on what is going on, look at your training program and discuss with your players what do they think that they need in order to succeed, and also bring your own perspective well. Then discuss what the team needs, bring it together so everyone is on the same page with what we should do, the process and the agreements that we as a team made in order to move forward. Because everyone is on the same page and everyone agreed, that is where a flow of motivation can happen. So even though you might lose a couple of games in a row because maybe you're new or whatever the situation, doesn't really matter, it can bring motivation back into the team, while eventually you can progress and make the difference inside the team. So there you go. This is the model to look at, to how to react as a coach when you are winning or losing with different types of context. And that is it, guys. Now you know as a coach how you can or maybe should react in winning or losing situations in different types of contexts. So you know what kind of attributes you should apply towards the team or individual players, and ask them also what attributes they would give them themselves in the connection with their performance and the results of the match. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, so you'll be one of the first guys to always get notified of new content. I try to post 3 times every week on Monday, Wednesday and Friday for you to become a more impactful coach as well and to get better results. And also for your team to reach the next level by getting the people side of esports right. So be sure to like, subscribe, and also comment down below what you've learned in this video. And if it is useful for you, or maybe some experience that you want to share, I will read it all and would reply in tenfold so you can even improve more. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.